In the heart of Rajasthan's vast Thar desert, hidden away in a forgotten village named Dundara, there stands an old, abandoned haveli. The crumbling walls whisper a chilling secret to the winds. Locals say that deep inside this decaying mansion, there's a mirror. But this is no ordinary mirror. It doesn't show your reflection, it shows your future. For decades, a palpable fear has kept the villagers away, especially after sunset. A simple rule is passed down through generations. Never, ever enter that place. Because every single person who has dared to look into that mirror has met a grim fate, dying within just 7 days. This story begins with the mansion's original owner, a man named Pandit Keshavlal. He wasn't just any man. He was the royal astrologer to the Jodhpur court, a brilliant mind consumed by an obsession with fate, time, and the mysteries of death. He held a peculiar belief that mirrors were more than just polished glass and silver. To him, they were portals, mystical bridges connecting our world to the realms beyond. In the year 1890, driven by this conviction, he embarked on a strange and ambitious project. Under the eerie shadow of a total solar eclipse, he crafted a unique mirror. He used a bizarre concoction of mercury, pure silver, and powdered quartz, believing this combination, charged by the eclipse's energy, could capture glimpses from another dimension. Word of this future-seeing mirror spread like wildfire. People drawn by curiosity and a thirst for the supernatural traveled from distant lands just to witness it. One day, a young soldier, recently returned from the ravages of war, decided to test its power on a dare from his friends. He strode into the haveli, full of bravado, and stared into its depths. What he saw, we'll never fully know. But that night, he returned home to his wife, his face pale and his voice trembling. He confessed, "I saw myself drowning." His wife dismissed it as a bad dream, a trick of the light. But just 2 days later, the impossible happened. Unseasonal torrential rains lashed the village, causing a flash flood. In the ensuing chaos, the soldier slipped and fell into a swollen well. He drowned. His death was the spark that ignited a wildfire of terror. The dare became a death sentence. Suddenly, the haveli was no longer a place of wonder, but one of dread. Yet, the deaths didn't stop. It seemed the mirror's curse had seeped beyond its frame. One by one, villagers who had even spoken of visiting the haveli met with inexplicable fatal accidents, each eerily echoing the premonitions they'd heard about. The panic grew so intense that the royal family of Jodhpur had to intervene. They issued a decree. The mirror was to be sealed away, forever. Royal guards locked the haveli's main door, hammering heavy silver nails into the frame. Holy mantras, inscribed by the court's most revered priests, were painted across the walls, intended to contain the malevolent energy within. As the years turned into decades, the grand mansion slowly surrendered to the elements, and the legend of the cursed mirror began to fade into folklore, a ghost story told to frighten children. But while the stories faded, the mirror remained, waiting silently in the dark. Then, in 2009, the silence was broken. A young, ambitious journalist from Delhi named Ananya Rao arrived in Dundara. She was the epitome of modern skepticism, sharp, curious, and incredibly brave. She had heard the tales of the mirror and was determined to debunk the entire story, to expose it as nothing more than superstitious folklore for a sensational article. The villagers, their faces etched with genuine fear, pleaded with her. The village elder warned her, "Some truths are not meant for our eyes." But Ananya, armed with her flashlight and a state-of-the-art digital camera, was resolute. Just past the stroke of midnight, under a sliver of a moon, she broke the old seal and slipped inside the haveli. The moment she stepped through the doorway, the atmosphere changed. The air inside was unnaturally cold, heavy with a silence that felt ancient and suffocating. Dust motes danced in the beam of her flashlight, illuminating decaying furniture and cobwebs as thick as shrouds. She navigated the labyrinthine corridors until she found it, standing in the center of what was once a grand hall. A tall, ornate mirror, its surface concealed by a faded, dust-covered red cloth. With a deep breath, she reached out and pulled the cloth away. Instantly, a series of bizarre events unfolded. Her digital camera, which had been working perfectly just moments before, began to glitch, the screen flashing with static. The temperature in the room plummeted, her breath turning to mist in the flashlight's beam. A lesser person would have fled, but Ananya was a journalist. This was her story. She steadied her hand and kept the camera rolling, determined to capture proof. We only know what happened next because of the final garbled footage recovered from her camera's memory card. Her voice, barely a whisper, trembling with a terror that defied her earlier bravery, can be heard saying, "It's me. I'm lying here." Then, the video cuts to a screen of pure screaming static. Exactly 1 week later, Ananya Rao was found dead in her hotel room, miles away from the Haveli. The official report was baffling. There were no injuries, no signs of a struggle or forced entry. The cause of death was inconclusive. The only clue, the only strange object found at the scene, was a single sharp shard of an antique mirror, clutched tightly in her cold hand. Following this incident, the government took swift action. The Haveli was permanently sealed, this time with concrete and steel, and declared a restricted archaeological site. No one is allowed near it. But the story doesn't end there. The people of Dundara, the ones who live in the shadow of the Haveli, say that on nights when the moon is full and bright, a faint, ethereal light can be seen flickering from the cracks in the sealed walls. It's as if the mirror is still active, still holding on to its last visitor, still remembering Ananya's face. Perhaps the mirror was never a harbinger of death. Maybe it simply showed the raw, unfiltered truth of one's destiny. A truth so absolute, so heavy, that the human mind, unprepared for such knowledge, simply shatters under its weight. Because sometimes the most profound truth is that the future isn't meant to be watched like a film. It's meant to be lived, one uncertain, precious moment at a time. If this story sent a chill down your spine, please show your support by hitting that like button, dropping a comment with your thoughts, and subscribing to our channel for more mysteries and legends hidden in the folds of time. Thank you for watching, and until next time, be careful what you wish to see.